Me encuentro aquí en un lugar histórico en la ciudad de Montebello, California. Este lugar se encuentra exactamente, permítame, está la calle 946 Norte Adobe Avenue de Montebello, California. Este lugar, el Adobe de Juan Matías Sánchez, situado en Montebello, California, es un sitio histórico clave que refleja la rica herencia de la región, construido originalmente en 1844-1845. El adobe es un testimonio de la villa o de la vida durante la era del rancho en California, la era del ranchero, ¿verdad? Cuando vastas extensiones de tierra eran trabajadas por vaqueros y familias que representaban las raíces hispanas del estado. El edificio que ahora funciona como un museo, que está a mis espaldas, en un ratito vamos a pasar ahí al interior, ofrece una ventana al pasado, resaltando no solo la vida de sus primeros habitantes, sino también la evolución del sur de California a lo largo de los siglos. Así que los invito a pasar al interior de esta casa de adobe de Juan Matías Sánchez, a conocer la historia de nuestro México y lindo y querido, porque esto fue parte de cuando estas tierras pertenecían a nuestro México. ¿Vamos?
Come to the river, this river, to cross it. See, a lot of people think they go that way. They don't. They actually cross this way. They're going to cross this way and go around Monterey Park Hills that way to go north. Yeah, so a very important location where we're at. And have you ever been to the Whittier Nature Center down the street down here on Durfee?
Down the
Yeah, it's really nice. Oh, it's open every day, and they have on a Saturday at 8 in the morning they have a bird walk. You have to go for the because there's a river over there, the San Juan Creek, that goes into the river, to the San Gabriel River. It's a very important. It's a watershed here where all the water came down. Okay. So this is where the Spanish crossed. And when the Spanish started building homes here, you got, then it becomes Mexico. Then you have three houses here. Down here you got Cerritos Rancho. You got the Pio Pico there on Whittier and the 605 freeway. Have you been to the Workman Temple Homestead?
Yeah, I know.
That one, and then that's her nearest neighbor, and then this house.
Oh, okay.
So there's only like two neighbors. When she builds this house, she only has two neighbors. Mr. Temple down here in Cerritos, Adobe, and then the Mr. Workman at the Workman Temple Rancho. She only has two neighbors, and then the Pueblo. But you don't get to the Pueblo through Whittier Boulevard. You get around this way. You have to go this way, around that way. So this house here, these three rooms here, the original house. Built. This was a Mexican land grant given to a woman in 1844.
In 1844?
Yeah, she was the daughter of a soldier, Guillermo Soto. Soto Boulevard in Boyle Heights is named after her family. Her father had come with a Guayo in 1781. Her father was a Spanish soldier that came all the way up from Nueva España. And then her husband also was a soldier at the San Gabriel Mission. And then when he died, under his name, she petitioned the governor for this land. So she has all the land from Beverly Boulevard all the way to Garvey. And all the way to Santa Anita. If you go down Rosemead to, you make a right on San Gabriel Boulevard, becomes Durfee, right to Santa Anita Avenue. All that land was all hers.
Oh my God,
like almost 3,000 acres. So this is her house.
Okay.
So let's go inside.
Let's go inside. Esta es la casa de Juan Matías Sánchez.
But we're in the original house. Actually, the original house was built by this woman, Doña Maria. Doña Maria Casilda Soto de Villalobos. Okay, her maiden name is Soto. Her married name is Villalobos. So this is the Mexican land grant she gets. Okay, this is where we're at right now, the house. Okay.
It's right there.
Yeah, so we're right here. Over here the location of the original mission, San Gabriel mission, was here, but it was too much water, so they moved where it is today. 1771. So the Spanish come up this way and go this way. Oh. See, everybody thinks they go that way. They don't. No. To the Pueblo. No, they go up here, and then they come around the Whittier Hills. I mean, the Monterey Park Hills. Monterey Park. Okay? Yeah, Monterey Park. So here's where the mission's at, and this is where the temple house was, and then, see, you go down here, Rancho La Puente, the workman house is way down this way. Yeah, so it's all part of the same area, okay? And then this becomes... Great. Okay, so let's just deal with her. So she gets the Mexican land grant. She pays 50 head of cattle to the mission for this land. And so these 3 rooms are her house. This is her front door. So she faces the hills, the Whittier Hills. Okay. So this is a map of the rancho showing you some of the other ranchos around here. So she doesn't have too many neighbors. She has Jonathan Temple down here in the Cerritos Rancho. She has William Workman over there in La Puente, and then the Pueblo Los Angeles. So she doesn't have any neighbors. Now, Pio Pico, he doesn't build this till the American time period, 1850. 1850, when this becomes America. But in terms of the era of this as being Mexico, she only has 2 neighbors. So yeah, so this is her. We also have, they sell this little map, and sometimes in the gift shops, you're going to see it. See this triangle? That's where we're at. That's Rancho La Merced. That's her rancho.
It's her rancho.
Yeah, her rancho. Rancho La Merced. La Puente is Workman. So Cerritos is Jonathan Temple. San Pedro is Manuel Dominguez. Okay. San Antonio is Lugo. This is South Montebello and also Monterey Park. Okay, but that's a different history. That's in that handout I gave you about what happens to that land. Well, that rancho. Because we'll just stick with her rancho. Okay, so this is the flag of the First Republic of Mexico. In 1821, it has an eagle with a crown. Yeah, crown, right? And then the second flag, the wings go up. And now the flag, he's like this. It's like, the eagle's like this. So every time they change the flag, that's different, right? But in 1821, this becomes Mexico. Okay.
Oh, the flags, las banderas, como
so then there's a battle here. Have you been up Washington Boulevard, the 2 cannons on Washington and Bluff Road? Have you ever seen them when you drive up Washington Boulevard? Okay, that's a battle here. Here, give it to you. Why? That's a battle here. It's called the Battle of Rio San Gabriel, where the Americans attempted to take the Pueblos, had to walk through here. There was a one-day battle here. So we have some drawings and some watercolors and acrylic painting that I did. Okay, of the battle. Nice. January 8th, 1847. And let's see, Eric Strauss, Seaman died. Sepulveda passed away. Now this flag only has 28 stars on it because in 1847 there was only 28 states in the Union. Okay. So this you can see, 1850, California becomes the 31st state. So then we would need a flag with 31 stars, but we don't have that. Okay, so this is the California Bear Revolt flag from Sonoma. This was actually designed by Mary Todd Lincoln's brother, Mark Todd. So it's sort of interesting in that. Oh, here we have some old things. See, this is Doña Lobo's diseño. This you can go online. You can Google this with the Bancroft Library. This shows Doña Lobo's land grant, her Mexican land grant. Here's her house, her casa, with a pitched roof, which is very rare because adobes have flat roofs. And you can see the quiche. That means there's an Indian village here. And then there's adobe, that probably the Basie adobe. So there's other people. Her rancho included the area. Down the street is called Mission Vieja, because that's the original location of the San Gabriel Mission. So you can go Google this to see the real thing. It's very interesting because one of these is a road, one of these is a river, and it says Rio. Okay. Now, what happens is that Doña Lobo's son, Santiago, goes to the gold fields, and he gambles his mother's house away. And she has to get a loan for $1,000 from William Workman at the La Puente Rancho. But her terms of the loan are very steep. She has to pay it back. I mean, she doesn't have money, right? She has land and cows, but no cash. That she has to pay it back, or he will buy her out. So in 4 months, he gives her $2,000 for the rest of the rancho. But she dies, though, because she's a widow. The tradition was you not kick out a widow out of her home. But there's a measles epidemic in 1853. So she dies and her son dies. So Mr. Workman sells this house and the rancho to his son-in-law and to Mr. Juan Matías Sánchez from Taos, New Mexico. And here's a copy of the deed. And if you look at the wording down here, let's find it. Okay, he sells it for the sum of $1 silver, $1.
Oh,
because that's his son-in-law and that's his business, his ranch foreman. So it's a gift, right? When you sell something for $1,
it's a gift. It's un regalo.
Now, who's Juan Matías Sánchez? Juan Matías Sánchez was from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Okay,
so Juan Matías Sánchez, he's
from New Mexico. New Mexico has a different history because the Spanish, the Spanish were looking for silver and gold, right?
Yeah, silver and gold.
Okay.
Plata y oro.
Yeah, they were looking for minerals, and they didn't really care about anything else but that. So when the Spanish come, when they get, Mexico City and they go to Durango, right, because there's a lot of gold, silver there, then they go straight up. And they go straight up to the area of New Mexico, has copper mines, silver mines, gold mines, and turquoise, right? So they go up to do the mining in New Mexico. So that's why the Spanish were actually the first foyer outside of Chihuahua, and Mexico, Chihuahua, Durango, is New Mexico. Now, traditionally, if you look at where the Spanish go, they always want to go where there's water because they want to transport, especially the ocean, right? You look at all the 21 missions, Spanish mission on the coast. You have to be there because they don't want to eat what the Indians are eating. They want to eat real food. They want wine, they want chocolate, they want biscuits, they want porcelain. So they always are on waterways because they want to have supplies, right? Especially the priests with their wine. So they like the luxurious lifestyle. So they're always near water. Now, see, New Mexico there's no water, right? There's no river connecting New Mexico with Mexico City. But they were willing to go because they're the gold, right? Gold and silver. Now, Mr. Sanchez's family, according to one of the relatives, was 3 brothers escaping the Inquisition in Spain, ended up in that area of Taos, New Mexico. Again, that's farmers, land mines, and just mining. So he's born in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and he's a fur trapper. Okay, so we have some, showing the fur, because children don't know. This is a beaver pelt, the fur trappers, the life of the fur trappers. But he comes in 1846, around there, on what's called the Spanish Trail, which is from Santa Fe, New Mexico to the San Gabriel Mission. It's a mule trail, not for wagons. It's very narrow, very treacherous. So he comes there. And so he becomes a worker, the ranch foreman of La Puente Rancho. So Mr. Workman is his boss and good business partner. So that's why he is sold this rancho for $1.
$1,
but he doesn't move in right away. He's got to let the old widow has to pass away. Then he adds the second wing to the house. Hi, Robin. Yeah, he adds the second wing to the house. Now, what does Mr. Sanchez do? Well, he develops it as a cattle ranch. So he has cattle. He also has sheep. We need a sheep display. We need to put in a sheep display. He's one of the biggest sheep raisers here in the San Gabriel Valley.
We'll have to do a painting with that. Huh?
Yeah, no, we need a display. John actually has a sheep, the bale weigher for the sheep thing. He's got that. Cool. We because of this exhibit, we're always we never have room for it. Now let's go into learn about Mr. Sanchez's family.
Okay.
We call this the family room.
Oh,
so that's
big family.
Mr. Sánchez. But when he comes, now we think, we're not too sure, because see, when he comes, he's already in his 40s. So we think there's a first wife that dies in New Mexico, but this is, we call her the first wife. This is on the left, that's Luisa Archuleta, another old family from New Mexico. The Archuleta family, they go back to before the Pueblo Revolt. And she also had come on the Spanish Trail with her first husband, Mr. Martinez, and her 5 children. Okay, but she loses her husband up in the gold fields too. Okay, and then he takes care of her, and they get married, and they have 3 sons and a daughter. Okay, that we call that the first family. Then in his, she died in 1872. Yeah, 1872. Yeah, because trying to think when the young daughter is born. 42, yeah, 62, yeah, 1872. And then in his old age, when he's in his 70s, the gardener, the rancher, has him marry his sister from Mexico. She's only 22 years old. And with her, he had 2 daughters and a son. So we have some stuff from the family. This from the first wife, that she made this sofa cover. The second son, Francisco, he married Jonathan Rowland's granddaughter, Margarita Rowland. Rowland Heights, you've heard of Rowland Heights, right? Those are real people, all those names there. Okay, so he married Margarita Rowland. Margarita Rowland, we have her stuff from her wedding. We also have her grandmother's peinetas, because Jonathan Rowland's first wife was a Spanish girl from New Mexico. The second wife was an American woman, okay? But we have stuff that actually belonged to the Rowland family. And these are other stuff from the first family, okay? So, that's from the first family. Well, we didn't have Maria's up here. Yeah, so this is pictures of the first family and pictures of the second family. That's why Mr. Sánchez had the second wing. Now over here, before COVID, we had an American Indian friend. Down here on San Gabriel Boulevard in Lincoln, there were 2 Indian tribes that we know of, right? So we have some Indian stuff from Northern California, okay? And then we have stuff, the games that were made by our friend Julia Bogany.
Oh, okay. That's my name, Julian.
Yeah,
I'm Julia.
Well, she made these things. The Indians would make dice and games for their children. They make tule dolls for their girls. So we have some stuff that was made before COVID to represent the Indians here. The Indians here were very hostile. We know they did not build this house. See, because when Mr. Sánchez comes, and the census, he brings his own servants and sisters and nieces and nephews from New Mexico with him. So they help him build this house. Also, the story goes from one of his grandsons. See, these hills are full of caves and stuff. These hills are full of holes. And when the Indians would attack, he said they had a bell on the outside the house to let the vaqueros know, or to people in the house know, to go run to the caves and the hills when the Indians came around. Okay, let's go into the sala. So this second wing here is built by Mr. Sánchez. So he's the second owner. See, this is Doña Maria.
Okay.
That's her front door. See, she's looking at the Whittier Hill. See? She has a good view. People are coming up, right?
Very nice view.
He's a really good view of people moving up here. You're going to see he changes the house. He changes the face to look the other way. So this was added in 1853. This is the second wing. He had
Aquí en 1853 se le adherió esta parte a la casa original. 1853. Vamos a ver acá.
Come on in.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's one room?
No, it's 2.
2 room. Oh, nice. Oh my God. So beautiful.
Okay, so this is the sala or the Sanchez's living room. This is his front door.
Pues continuando con la historia de Juan Matías Sánchez, un ranchero pionero que llegó aquí a California, voy a hablarles un poquito de la historia y de su legado. Él llegó a principios del siglo XIX, adquirió la propiedad, esta propiedad la adquirió en 1860 y le dio su nombre. Este lugar no solo fue su hogar, sino también un símbolo de la transición de California desde el dominio mexicano, como lo comentamos, hacia el estadounidense. El Adobe, este lugar, ¿verdad? Más bien que fue construido esta casa con adobe, ¿verdad? De tierra, de barro, como lo conocemos, el adobe, que en su tiempo sirvió como un importante centro de actividades comunitarias, se ha mantenido como un recuerdo vivo de la época del rancho, cuando las familias hispanas jugaban un papel fundamental en el desarrollo económico y social de la región. A lo largo de los años, el sitio ha sido restaurado, por supuesto, para preservar su autenticidad, manteniendo su diseño arquitectónico original y las materias históricas utilizando, pues que se utilizaron en su construcción. Continuamos. Original. Vamos a ver acá.
Come on in.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's one room?
No, it's two.
Two room. Oh, nice. Oh my God. So beautiful.
Okay, so this is the sala or the Sanchez's living room. This is his front door. He faces the house the other direction. Now, we don't have too much original of his stuff because when he died, they said they laid him out here, for the funeral, that he was tall. He was 6'2", ruddy complexion. And his brother-in-law sold everything. So we only have two original pieces of furniture. This sofa that belonged to the second wife and the armoire over there that belonged to his brother. Otherwise, like most families, everything gets sold, or the brother-in-law sold everything. But we have, all these are just antiques. This museum opened in 1974. The house was given by the third owner's daughter to the city. And so we just have donations of the time period stuff and a lot of antiques. A lot of antiques.
Nice. Great.
And we'll decorate, we didn't put it away because it's too big for me to pick it up, but we'll have, I'm going to put a nativity scene here because Mexican houses at that time would have had a nacimiento, a nativity scene. Now we got a donation from one of the descendants of the silverware because during COVID, people went to her husband. He's a jeweler, has a jewelry shop in the West Side, and people, you use jewelry shops like pawn shops. But he said that the silver plate has no value because it's not 100% silver, so it's worthless. But he's collecting a lot of it, so he donated all this set to us. And the more you wash it, the more it comes off. It's just it's not worth it. And nobody gives it away anymore, right? As wedding gifts, so nobody registers for that anymore. So nobody's getting a silver plate. So over here is the bedroom, and we have some real interesting objects. This is Margarita Rowland's wedding dress. She's the granddaughter of Jonathan Rowland of Rowland Heights, and he's the one actually to get the rancho first before William Workman. And she was a very rich girl because in the 1850s these buttons have marcasites. There's no store to buy that. This had to be made by a jeweler. Okay, so we're very lucky to have her wedding dress. And also over here we have let me tell the story of this photograph. This Mexican charro little outfit. This is Tomas Sánchez. He's the oldest son of the first wife. And what this illustrates in this photograph, and it doesn't exist anymore. The children and grandchildren of the rancheros here, they would be invited by Olvera Street, by fiestas, by the state Pomona Fair. There was a state fair. If a city had a parade, they would be invited. Oh, you have horses, you have regalia, and you have the outfits. Can you please come be in our parade and hold a flag or hold something? So he liked doing that. He would actually go to the parades, the county fairs, the state fairs, and that's why he bought this outfit in Mexico. And he'd always have the regalia to decorate his horses, and he liked doing that. It's really sad that today that tradition is gone.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah,
more,
they're
no
all
more.
the descendants of these families. Well, the descendants of the Dominguez family, Sánchez family, they all live in Orange County. Nobody rides horses anymore. Nobody speaks Spanish anymore. It's all gone. Although the year before COVID, they said that in the Orange City Library that a descendant of the Yorba Peralta family actually walked in to donate Bernardo Yorba, who owned all of what's Chino and Yorba Linda, to donate his spurs and his saddle. And I had never, it was like, so these families are holding back. I mean, a rich man would have had a beautiful saddle, right? And spurs and maybe a lasso, a reata. But the families hold on. I think what happens, it holds on to get a generation that no longer has a horse. And they think, well, this stuff's going to crack and dry and we might as well donate it. Because we know that Manuel Dominguez, he was the mayor of the alcalde of Los Angeles. We don't have any of that. And he was a rich man. So who has his saddle? Who has his spurs? But his great-great-grandchildren, they still have horses. So maybe when we get a generation, 10 generations down where no one has a horse, we'll get it back. Right? Okay, so let's walk around. I'm going to lock this door. We're going to walk around the house.
All right, let's go outside.
Come on, ladies.
Vente para acá.
Yeah, most everything is donated. Yeah, most of the museums, they don't have anything on. We actually have at least 2 objects. Cerritos has 0 objects.
Oh.
Everything is it's all make-believe.
Yes.
It's all fake.
And they did well.
It's all fake. Well, it's not fake. The antiques are not fake, but it's just make-believe. We're going to walk this way to the front of Sanchez's house.
Vamos a caminar al frente de la casa.
Remember, we went over
that's
the
Sánchez.
Weir Narrows Dam. And this is where the Spanish walked through. So all this is man-made. Nothing's original anymore. It's all man-made after the 1938 flood.
I was going to ask you, so the original roof, was it made of something different?
Well, the decennial portrait shows that she does have an A-frame roof, which is not traditional for Adobes. Adobes have flat roofs. The fact she has an A-frame roof. But see, the year not this side of the building, the other building, the other wing, she gets this in 1844. And of course, we assume the house is built in 1845. Who else is building the house at that time? Well, 1853, 23 miles down on this river is Jonathan Temple building the Cerritos adobe, and he has a 2nd floor, he has an interior wooden staircase, and he has a wooden roof. So he's either sold her wood, redwood, or he's given her wood. That's what I think happened here. I don't think she had a Thule roof on her house, no. Because the picture doesn't show it. Hey, you got a cricket. Grasshopper. Okay, so this is Sanchez's front door. So he faces the house this way. Where the gray house is today, that's where he had his barns. His barns are out here. This road, Lincoln, did not exist. He went to work every day at the La Puente Rancho. So if you're familiar with the Workman Mill Road and how it dead ends on Feltzer, well, if we got a pencil and we drew a line from Workman Mill and Feltzer right straight to this house. This is how he went to work.
That was his trail.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so then this is probably the original piso, the water trough for the horses, because this is how he's coming. All this you see in Lincoln and Rosemary, that's all man-made and all redone after the 1938 flood. So it doesn't matter. But you're going to show some pictures of this. Real pretty. sort of weird. Like, why does he look this way? Because there's no traffic. All the traffic's coming down Whittier Boulevard or crossing to Monterey Park. So, very weird. What does he see? Okay, I'm going to talk about the careta here. This is a donated movie prop from the movie Ben-Hur.
Oh, it's right there.
Okay, but the technology is the same as it was here in the New World of the way they made the carts. This was actually, my uncle owned this. And the reason we have it here is when my uncle died, his sister, my aunt, she had 2 pieces of movie props in the front yard. This cart and a gun from the Guns of Navarone. I said, Aunt Mary, donate it to the city. Maybe they could use it at the Sánchez Adobe. So it does have his name, that it was donated by my mother's older brother, David Barber. Because he liked to buy movie props. So I don't know where the Gun of Navarone went, so we could have used that one too. We're going to go around and we're going to talk about the third owner. Because there's 3 owners of this house.
3 owners.
I think where you live, West Covina, is part of the Workman, La Puente Rancho.
Yeah, it's part of the
That was originally owned by Jonathan Rowland, and then he sold it to his business partner, William Workman. Move that. All right, and let's start with this poster here. Okay, don't look. Well, just look at the top line. These are the earliest photographs of this house, about 1917, 1920. So it had been abandoned, although Gail Feldman said that the uncle, the brother-in-law, was actually living in this section and had I don't know, what do you call a blacksmith shop operating in here, which is very dangerous with a wooden roof. Okay, the third owner, when the Temple Bank crashed in 1876, Juan Matías Sánchez lost the rancho, but not the house, because he had signed a quitclaim deed to the second wife. So the second wife got the house and the land around the house, but she died. She remarried and died, giving birth to two twins who also died. And that's when the brother-in-law stepped in. The brother-in-law we originally thought the brother-in-law had put her 3 children in an orphanage, because he didn't want to raise them. He just wanted to use them for farm work. But it turned out not the case. The oldest, from the second family, the oldest daughter was living with a relative in Arizona. The second daughter was sent to boarding school. It was the youngest child, a boy, that was sent to the orphanage. And he would only pull that boy out when he needed to farm him. But the brother-in-law didn't pay the taxes on the property. So the land had actually been receivership with Lucky Baldwin, with Baldwin's family. He had already deceased and his daughter was still alive. So the Baldwin estate came in and took the house, okay? So that's the same time as these photographs are taken. Now look at the second row. They sold the house and the rancho to an oil man, because by 1920, the oil was discovered here. And so they sell it to a W.B. Scott. So what you see here is that he spent 2 years, 1929, 1930. He must have spent millions of dollars putting a second floor with dormer bedrooms to fix the house to make it into a summer palace. Take a look. Look at that front door facing look at the piso. Look, it's a water fountain. Look at the gardens. Beautiful, right? So that's the third owner. So it becomes the Scott Adobe. If you're seeing pictures here, you don't even recognize it. His daughter, Josephine, was married here in 1932 in the double. I mean, you don't even recognize it, right? The house doesn't even look the same. Coming off that back porch for the wedding. Okay, with big, I think a walnut tree was in the back. Usually you traditionally plant walnut or willow trees. Okay, so then the daughter in 1971 gave the house and the property around the house to the city of Montebello. That's Josephine Scott Crocker. So she gives it to be a museum. Now, what happens to the house? Now, let's look at the third line. So this is the house, and it's going to be stripped of all its vegetation, and then the fourth row is the way she wants to give it to the city. So she wants to take the house back to 1850. But see, there's a deliberate plan. Have you guys visited the Cerritos Rancho in Long Beach? Okay. When that was sold to the city in 1953, what you see when you go visit there is a 1929 renovation of the house by the third owner. Like here, what you don't see anymore. We don't see it. So what you see here, 1929 renovation by the third owner. When you go to Cerritos, you're seeing the renovation by the third owner, 1929. But when the city got it, they decided not to touch it. So when you go see it, it's the Bixby house, and it's a 1929 renovation. Here is not the case. Here we have a 1929 renovation, but when she gives it to the city in 1971, the house is stripped and taken back. But this had a great impact in terms of storytelling, because when you go visit Cerritos, you don't learn anything about the Spanish period. You don't learn anything about Mexico. There was a Mexican rancho or a Mexican house. All you hear is Bixby, 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 because he's the one that the house you see. What you see then is the Bixby house. See, now by doing this, when we come and visit, it's not the Scott Adobe, or who are the Scots and what did they do. It is the Sánchez Adobe, and she wanted to tell the story of the Mexican rancho, the Sánchez family and their impact here. Yeah, it changes your storyline. Whoever is the last owner, right? Whoever is the last owner. So we have, the house was beautiful. They had murals on the ceiling, murals on the wall, all the beautiful vegetation. So that was in the 1920s when all that was redone. Now we're in the 20th century room because we're the Montebello Historical Society, so we also have to feature things about the history of Montebello. So things are always changing around. We now have a permanent exhibit about our most famous athlete to come out of Montebello, if you like a commemorative baseball card, is Marge Villa. She grew up on Washington Boulevard and Washington Boulevard in Vail, and she was a professional women's baseball player for the Kenosha Comets. Have you seen the movie A League of Their Own? That the women's leagues that existed after during World War II and afterwards, because there was no men for the baseball teams, there were women. So she's our most famous athlete. She just passed away last December. And so then John's doing the other stuff with football now and with baseball of Montebello, because we've had very famous athletes come out of here. Grant Ray Park, we have an exhibit on that. That's named after, we had our own, I don't know if you've seen the movie or read the book about Zeffirelli in Torrance. He was a high school track star, went to the Olympics, was captured by the Japanese during World War II, tortured he survived. Ours didn't, Grant Ray, he didn't survive the Japanese. Simon's Brickyard in South Montebello, City of Commerce, we have a story of that. We know the Rodriguez brothers, 5 brothers that served in the Marines during Vietnam. And one of them, Reggie, the youngest one, said Philip, and he was the Joker. He was killed in battle, but he was awarded the Silver Star. So we have a lot of stuff. We have where the City Hall is today. It was a Dominican seminary. Okay, here's the original brick from the house. Okay, of course, Montebello has its Armenian martyr at the monument at the Quiet Canyon Golf Course. We're the only city to have that, and we have a model of the house that we take with us when we're on the road to different events. Our next event coming up, everybody, is November 16th. What used to be the duck farm on the 605 freeway is now San Gabriel River Park. And you have to Google for directions. That's Saturday, November 16th. Then on December 7th, we'll be at the Drum Barracks in Wilmington with our model and other activities. So we're not always here every Saturday. We weren't here last Saturday because we were at the Dominguez Rancho for the Battle of the Old Woman's Gun. So, so we're also reenactors. So thank you for coming, and that concludes my tour.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Repetto and Garfield in the city of Monterey Park. So his men actually hid back here in the Whittier Narrows area with their horses and gold. So on Highway 14, up on Interstate 5 is the Vasquez Rocks. You see them in Star Trek, Western movies, everywhere. Kung Fu, every Western movie I see is, oh no, there's the Vasquez Rocks, because they used as a movie background. 5 in the morning from 9 to 10, 2 episodes where Guy Williams plays Zorro. They're real cheesy. They're filmed here. They're so cheesy, just unbelievable. Because, they're they're older than me. I was born in 59. This TV series in 1957. He was Italian. Okay, so that's why he had the good looks, right, of the Italians. But when he retired, he went to live in Argentina. And the American guy who played his sidekick, Sergeant Garcia, he also followed him to Argentina. I guess the dollar went further, it was cheaper to live down there. But he died young of a heart attack,
A manera de conclusión de esta bonita historia sobre lo que vimos en el día de hoy, el Adobe de Juan Matías Sánchez, pues es un museo, este lugar actualmente que educa a las nuevas generaciones sobre la historia local y el patrimonio cultural de Montebello y sus alrededores. Su preservación como sitio histórico subraya la importancia de reconocer y honrar las contribuciones de las primeras comunidades californianas, quienes forjaron las bases de lo que hoy es el estado, y como les decía, pues México lindo y querido, aunque no se menciona porque no lo mencionan los historiadores, ¿verdad? Como que dicen, no, pues de California, pero era México, ¿sí? Este legado que perdura en cada rincón del Adobe, sirviendo como un recordatorio constante de la historia multicultural de California y su transformación a lo largo del tiempo. Les agradezco mucho por haberme acompañado en este recorrido por la historia de la Casa de Adobe de Juan Matías Sánchez en la ciudad de Montebello, California. Gracias, espero que le den like si les gustó el video, lo compartan con sus amigos.